All right, we are still rolling. We're going to try this again. Okay? We're elegant. We're luxurious.
There's a hush in the room. The string quartet slows. Sunlight pours through the glass roof of Crest Nursery, lighting up the faces of Hollywood's most beloved, all gathered for a wedding that would soon become the story of the year. But the real magic begins not with the vows, not with the first kiss, but with a microphone passed to Taylor Swift. Taylor's midnight blue gown sparkles as she rises. Her friendship with Selena Gomez is legendary, but tonight, she promises something different. She tells stories that have never been told in interviews, never posted to social media. She speaks of wild sleepovers, of two girls who once built a stage in the backyard for an audience of ducks, performing their hearts out to nobody but each other. She remembers secret notes, written in pencil, folded and tucked between the pages of Selena's favorite books. The crowd is mesmerized. There's laughter, there's nostalgia, and there's a sense of wonder. Taylor paints a picture of the kind of childhood friendship that is so rare, so pure, that even years of fame and flashing cameras can't erase it. She recounts the night they convinced themselves Selena's house was haunted, staying up until sunrise with horror movies and popcorn, shrieking at every creak of the pipes. By the time she finishes, even the most stoic guests are wiping tears from their eyes, or at least pretending it's just a speck of dust. This was more than a wedding. It was a constellation of stars. Steve Martin and Martin Short, Selena's co-stars from Only Murders in the Building, kicked off the festivities at the rehearsal dinner, their legendary banter setting a tone of joy and irreverence. Ed Sheeran, Camila Cabello, Paris Hilton, Paul Rudd, Cara Delevingne, and even a few surprise faces from Wizards of Waverly Place mingled, their laughter echoing through the gardens. The music royalty in the room was undeniable. Mark Ronson, spinning vinyl at the DJ booth, kept the dance floor moving. Phineas joined Ed Sheeran for a surprise duet, while Camila serenaded the couple with an acoustic ballad that had the entire room swaying. It wasn't just a party, it was a once-in-a-lifetime jam session. The ceremony itself unfolded as the sun dipped behind the Santa Barbara hills. The aisle was lined with blooms in every hue, the altar framed by fairy lights and trailing ivy. Selena, radiant in a Ralph Lauren gown, walked toward Benny Blanco, who stood waiting in a classic tuxedo, his smile wide and uncontainable. Their vows were short, sweet, deeply personal. Benny promised a life of adventure and unwavering support. Selena spoke of finding her home in him, her words trembling with sincerity. When they exchanged rings, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The cheers that erupted could be heard across the hills. The next morning, social media exploded. Selena's post was a carousel of intimate moments, her veil like a waterfall, Benny's hand in hers, their laughter caught in golden hour light. The only caption was the date, September 27th, 2025. Benny's post followed, calling Selena his real-life Disney princess, a loving nod to her roots. The comment section turned into a who's who of Hollywood, Paris Hilton declaring the night literally perfect, Aaron Paul sending a trio of red hearts, and Taylor Swift, ever the supportive friend, promising to be flower girl next time. But the photos told the real story. The newlyweds collapsed together in a pile of pillows after the reception, their wedding bands gleaming in a close-up of entwined hands. A young boy, rumored to be Selena's godson, fast asleep on a bed of petals at the altar. Crest Nursery was the perfect backdrop. Winding paths, wildflowers in every shade, secret nooks for whispered conversations. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and roses, the night alive with the glow of lanterns and laughter. Guests danced barefoot in the grass, Mark Ronson's playlist keeping spirits high until the early hours. The food was just as memorable. Gourmet sushi, wood-fired pizzas, mini tacos, and trays of decadent desserts kept guests fueled well into the night. As the party stretched on, groups gathered around fire pits, roasting marshmallows and trading stories, the glow of the flames reflected in their eyes. It was Taylor's speech, though, that everyone would remember. She told the story of the disastrous birthday cake, the one where she and Selena, convinced they were culinary geniuses, accidentally swapped salt for sugar. The cake was so bad, she said, even the family dog took one sniff and walked away. The room erupted with laughter, but then Taylor grew serious. She spoke of Selena's dreams, her resilience, the way she'd always been the girl to write lyrics on napkins and sing at the top of her lungs on road trips. She toasted the journey that brought Selena and Benny together, a journey of midnight talks and side jokes, and a friendship that had survived every headline and heartbreak. "Here's to the girl who believed in magic," Taylor said, raising her glass. "And to the man who makes her believe it's real." The party was a whirlwind of unforgettable moments. Paris Hilton led a conga line. Paul Rudd taught the kids the signature dance moves. Camila Cabello's song floated through the night air, her voice haunting and beautiful. Phineas and Ed Sheeran's impromptu duet had everyone arm in arm, swaying to the music. As the night wore on, the dancing never stopped. Even the oldest guests found themselves swept up in the joy. Somewhere in the crowd, Steve Martin pulled out his banjo, serenading a circle of friends under the stars. Selena and Benny slipped away for a few moments alone, disappearing into the gardens. Their laughter drifted back to the party, a private melody in the night. When they returned, hand in hand, the room erupted in applause. The evening ended with fireworks, the sky ablaze with color as Selena and Benny shared their first dance beneath the shimmering lights. The world seemed to pause, just for a moment, as everyone watched two people, so clearly in love, spin beneath a sky full of stars. Guests left with keepsakes, a vial of lavender from the nursery's gardens, a handwritten thank you note from the couple, and memories that would last a lifetime. The wedding album Selena posted the next day captured every detail, the intricate beading on her gown, the wildflowers in her bouquet, the way Benny looked at her when he thought nobody was watching. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, speculation had reached a fever pitch. Selena's December engagement announcement on Instagram set off a flurry of congratulations from the likes of Jennifer Aniston, Ashley Benson, Lil Nas X, Cardi B, and Lily Collins. Taylor Swift's comment, promising to be Flower Girl, set the tone for the playful, joyful spirit that would define the entire weekend. The rehearsal dinner was a riot. Steve Martin and Martin Short traded one-liners and stories from the set, while Taylor and Ed Sheeran toasted the couple with tales of late-night studio sessions and impromptu road trips. The night air was electric, people dancing barefoot in the grass, the unmistakable glow of happiness everywhere. What made this wedding extraordinary wasn't just the star-studded guest list or the breathtaking decor. It was the feeling that everyone was part of something special. The way Taylor and Selena linked arms and sang along to every song. The sight of Paris Hilton and Cara Delevingne sharing a laugh by the bar. The sound of Steve Martin's banjo drifting across the lawn. Even the weather seemed to conspire in their favor. Blue skies, warm sunshine, and a cool, star-filled night that felt almost enchanted. Selena and Benny's wedding wasn't just an event. It was a celebration of love, friendship, and the stories that connect us all. It was a reminder that, beneath all the headlines and red carpets, there are still childhood dreams, secret notes, and the kind of memories that never fade. As the last guests left, as the lights dimmed and the music faded, one thing was clear. This wedding would be talked about for years to come. Not because of who was there, or what they wore, but because of the joy, the laughter, and the feeling that, for one perfect night, magic was real. And somewhere out there, two girls who once built a stage for the Ducks had finally gotten their standing ovation.